Hi everyone, my name is Marion Chaulieu and I'm a product manager with Industrial Defender. Today I'm going to demo the new INSM feature that we'll be adding to the product in our 8.3 release to support the CIP-15 standard. So before I get started, this feature will actually be available here under the Network tab. You'll see this new Network Monitoring menu item here, and this is where the end-to-end workflow will live. The first part of this workflow is an overview screen where you can get situated. At a glance, you can see how many assets are in learning mode, for example, which baselines are ready for review, or how many open network exceptions exist in your system. Over in the Baselines and Learning tab, this is going to be the entry point, because before we can detect anomalies, we'll need to set up the data feeds and collect information about each asset's baseline. So here you'll be able to start the learning process, and this is done per asset. So what we do here is look at the network and through the lens of an asset and look at its communications and traffic patterns. So if I select this asset, for example, that is learning, this is where you'll see the different pieces of information that are collected as part of that asset's baseline, and you can either approve or reject them. You can do that individually, and you can also do that in bulk with this menu here. So you'll see here we surface the asset risk context as well, and we have our different baseline statuses that are available. So once an asset stops learning, it will be in monitoring, meaning that everything outside of the collected baseline will then become an anomaly and be captured in the exception queue. The ones that are not configured are the ones that haven't learned their baseline yet. And some assets, for some assets, you might want to not monitor them at all, meaning that you want to exclude them from your INSM solution, either temporarily or in the long term. You'll notice the quick filters up here that let you navigate to certain assets based on their baseline status. And also you'll find asset filters on the left as well. Those should look familiar because we have used them in other areas of the product as well. You'll be able to leverage those to further filter and narrow down subsets of assets. Now, in the exceptions queue, this is going to be the main working area of the feature. This is where you'll triage exceptions and collect the information related to those exceptions. And then again, this is done per asset. So you'll have your list of assets here. If you click on them, you'll see all of the different exceptions that relate to the asset. So here with a priority level, that's where we help you prioritize certain exceptions as opposed to others based on the asset risk context and also based on the exception type. You'll be able to see the source, the destination, port, and protocol here as well. If I click on the first one here, for example, this will tell you what happened. So based on the expected baseline communication, what has been observed. So here is the observed communication that is outside of the baseline. That is an exception. You'll be able here to pick a disposition. So if it's normal, you can choose that and add your disposition notes. The notes become part of reporting artifacts, and those are kept for audits as well. So if it's a normal communication, it will be added to that asset's baseline. If it's abnormal, you can investigate from here, or you can also set it to false positive, always with a note. What's the interesting part here is that we're surfacing the asset context, so you'll be able to see the different pieces of data that were collected, what happened. You can also navigate from here to other pages if you need to investigate. For example, if you need to go drill down into events or go to vulnerabilities or asset admin panel, for example, you can do that from here. Below here, you'll see the chain of custody, which is simply the timeline of events from where when the exception was surfaced until it was resolved, and that will also go into the reporting. The last piece of the workflow here is the evidence tab. So the evidence related to an exception needs to be retained until the exception is completely closed and handled. So this is where you'll see that evidence and be able to download it and interact with it. For example, here on this exception, you'll see the different artifacts that are related to that exception. So what kind of data has been collected, whether it's net flow, IDIS events, etc. You'll be able to add documents, whether it's some other data that you have externally, or a note for that relates to the exception that you want to add in for auditing purposes. So you'll be able to do that here, and you will also be able to upload other notes. And here your disposition note is also retained. You can also navigate to the reporting area here, which will take you to the reports tab pretty much here, into the NERC-CIP section of our reports, and there we will have the general CIP-15 reports readily available for you as well. One last thing I want to point out is this, how it works. Little helper, so we built this as a helper to assist you in your CIP-15 readiness. You'll be able to see if some evidence is still being collected or incomplete, or if some exceptions might still be open. And then we also have a little glossary here to help you with the different anomaly types and terms. So this is meant to be a helper in the preparation of your audit. All right, so that's the demo. Again, we're building this for our 8.3 release. If you have any feedback, please feel free to contact me or contact your point of contact for Industrial Defender, and we look forward to hearing from you.